Jojo. I'm back with another Blythe box opening. I'm going to talk today about clone dolls. So clone Blythes are Blythes that are not made by Takara. They are not made by Kenner. They've been copied. They are dolls that are factory dolls. They usually come nude when you buy them. They're a little questionable as to their heritage when you buy a factory nude doll. But there are dolls, just like Barbie was copied by fashion dolls, and actually fashion dolls existed before Barbie. There are dolls that are dolls in their own right that have the same characteristics as Blythe. Blythe was their inspiration, obviously, but I think they do deserve a little space in their own right. There are Blythe groups who won't accept them in pictures, photos, sales, and you need to respect that because they are not Blythe dolls. They are clones. They're made to look like Blythe. They're used a lot for people who are customizing, and that makes sense to me. I wouldn't want to let a Takara doll go customized myself, although I do have customized Takara dolls. I have bought some. I would struggle to customize it myself. So what we're going to open today is a Basaak doll. It is on the market. They're quite inexpensive, usually about $30 US, whereas this one, for example, was about $250 US, and came from Asia. This one I bought from a seller in the States on eBay. It came very slow, and that is Canada Post's problem, not the seller's problem. So it is something you're always going to have to consider when you purchase, the time that it takes to get there. Unless you buy within your own country, it's going to take weeks to get the doll that you want. So you have to have a lot of patience. So we're going to open this Basaak doll here today, and we will compare it to the Takara doll that it is probably trying to clone something similar to it. Start by opening up the box, taking a look. We have the windows, the peekaboo windows in this box, just like we had in the Takara box. Little mirror in here. This also comes with a second outfit, just like our Takara did. There's some loose pieces that kind of fly around in here. It's not as secure as the Takara box dolls were, and I find that's quite common with a doll that is a clone doll of any doll. They're just not packaged as neatly. We'll open it up. No packaging in the top. Pull it out from the top here. So there's our part of our packaging with the window that is not super secure. It was just kind of sitting there. Here she is, still done up. In the Takara packaging, all of this was secure. All of this was taped and folded and tucked nicely, and this is just loose and opens up. We have a little pair of pink shoes. She is wearing a little purple dress. The stand, which was not secure. A lot different than the Takara stands that we saw in the last video. A little bit similar to the Kenner stand. What happens is the legs will sit in here and she'll be supported up. And let's see what it's going to take her out of here. So the shoes were in a Ziploc baggie, little pink shoes. The doll herself is tied in much like the Takara doll. So here's our Basaak doll. They're probably made in the similar factories as the Blythe dolls. You can see she's a lot looser in the waist. We will get up close and personal in a minute. I don't think she's going to stand in here without her shoes on. So let me take her out for a minute and we'll get her shoes on. So here she is in her stand. We have to lean her against the box. She's very loose in the waist. I will get a close-up of her legs and her feet in a moment. Let's talk about her clothing. Her clothing is just basic nylon fabrics that you would find for dance classes and costuming design. It's very thin. It's not trimmed at all. It's not pleated. It's not hemmed at all. It is kind of cute. It's very sheer and see-through. We can see through her top. She comes with no underwear. She's completely nude underneath. Her shoes, there's little bits of plastic that weren't snipped off during production. And in a few minutes, I'm going to take the two dolls, put them side by side, and we're going to compare their legs and their hands. She has decent eyelashes. Her eyelashes are pretty good. So let's try her pull string. I have not tried it yet. So we have blue. We have pink. We have green, and we have a turquoisey blue, which is kind of pretty actually. That may be her main color when I'm through with her. Her hair is a little less stringy than the Takara one was. It's actually quite soft, but it's quite the chunky cut. Like, it wasn't done with a lot of care. Her scalp, let's look at her scalp. There's a big space in here. She doesn't quite fit properly the way a Takara doll would fit. She's got little ears on her that do not have hole punches in them, so no earrings. Similar type, a cheaper string. This is just a cotton string. I would not trust it for very long. It's not waxed. It doesn't have any additives to it that makes it strong. I would use this to tie a package shut, actually. The pull string is fairly normal, much like a Takara. Let me put the two dolls side by side and we'll take a look. So here are the two girls side by side. We have the Takara on the left and the Basaak on the right. Let's take a look at their faces a little closer. Much similar face. There's a good chance they use the same mold. That's kind of the accusation of clone and factory dolls, is that the molds were stolen or borrowed. The plastics are much cheaper. This is a much heavier doll. When we pick her up, there's some substantial weight to her. We pick her up, it's like quite a huge difference in the weight. Her skin is a little more tan, and that's just a plastic coloring that they've done, but they've taken a lot more care of it. We have the shiny face on this one, shiny face on this one, but you can see blemishes in the plastic right here. This is not painted. These are blemishes right in the plastic that were not cared for. Little bits of, they've done some blue eyeshadow on her. Some of the paint has got down in here as well. The lips, let's take a close look at the lips. Definitely just kind of printed on this one, pearlized and printed on, but much more careful, a lot more detail to them. You can see the eyes, the pink versus the blue. The irises are different. This one has kind of the double lines in it. This is just a single black line in the eyes. We look at the legs. Once again, pardon my sniffles, once again we have major blemishes in the plastic right here. So this is a doll that you're either going to want to customize or hide her legs. She has no toes. You can see it's just a straight seam line down here and no formed toes, versus our Takara. She has the formed toes, and the legs are just in such better condition. I've got some dirt on her. I've had her outside to photograph her, so that's not blemishes in her plastic. That's just dirt from me playing with her. But this one came all blemished up. Let's take a look at their hands. Here's her Basaak hand. So it's got some form to it. It has form, but you can see little seam lines and things in it. Versus the Takara hand, it's bigger, much more substantial, easier to put things in it, much easier to use. So this is the little dress that came with our Basaak doll. It's a better quality put together than the dress that she came in. We have the serged edge hem on the outside. It is a satin quality material, and the inner skirt is also hemmed more appropriately. It's got nice little lace detail. There's a little bit of shimmer on there and the ribbons down the center. This is probably one of the better crafted pieces of the Basaak doll that we we've opened. You could put these on your Takara doll for costuming. It's got the Velcro back on it. So this dress, I will probably put her in it at a later date. It's kind of nice, kind of cute little fancy dress that will match her shoes and her eyes. Here are our two dolls together, side by side, our Takara Blythe and our Basaak clone. There's really no comparison. Visually there is, but physically handling them, there's no comparison. I wouldn't even allow a child to play with the Basaak doll. It's too fragile. It bends in the middle. Its joints are weak. It just wouldn't survive any kind of rough handling. Whereas I do let my 4-year-old help carry the Takara doll, actually, because she's a lot more stable. I've had a lot of luck with factory dolls being in better condition than this Basaak doll. They're a little bit more expensive, probably because they're using better quality materials to make them in the factories. If you want to understand a Blythe doll and you don't want to put any money into it, Basaak is the way to go, and you can play with the eyes. You can try dressing them. They're similar body size and style. And it would get you into the hobby, but you'd be missing a lot. I highly suggest you save up and purchase a more expensive factory doll or a low-priced custom doll that's been done really nicely if you can't afford a $500 Takara. On the next video I'd like to do, I will have Icy Angela dolls and do a comparison with you with factory dolls and Icy Angela dolls with the Basaak and the Takara dolls and my Kenner. It'll be a beginner's guide to Blythe collecting. I am just above the beginner mark of collecting, of understanding them, so I think I'm in a good place to tell you what not to do and what the future looks like for somebody who's collecting, kind of my goals and what I'm looking forward to. If you like this video, please feel free to give me a thumbs up, share this, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel, JoJo's Little Moppets. Also look for my Facebook store, which is fb.me/JoJo's Little Moppet Shop. And that's a Facebook store. You can contact me through there and get more information from me there. I also highlight Blythe and other doll conventions and activities that are going on online that you can participate in. There's some great shows going on virtually right now, and it's a great way to meet other collectors and learn. Bye!